Explaining equality, diversity and inclusion policy in T-level health. So hello students, welcome back to our T-level health class. Today we have an essential topic to discuss: equality, diversity and inclusion and policy within the health and science sector. This policy plays a significant role in promoting fairness and eliminating discrimination. We are so passionate that there's a Government Equalities Office, which is a department that works towards eliminating discrimination and promoting equality in all areas, including the health and science sector. In this video, we will explore discrimination and the legislation involved and learn how it ensures equality for everyone. So, let's get started. Equality is about ensuring everyone is treated fairly, regardless of their background. And that looks at two things. It looks at equality and equity. So previously it was all about equality and how we can make it equal for everyone. But now we've moved past that and we begin to look at equity, which isn't about ensuring it's equal for everyone. It's ensure that we support everyone to reach their potential no matter where they are. So to eliminate discrimination, we look at working together to stop hurtful and unfair treatment based on who people are. It's about making sure that everyone's treated with respect and kindness, no matter their differences. Discrimination can happen when people are treated differently or unfairly because of things like their race, gender, age, disability, or other characteristics. Imagine if we were all in a big race, but some people were given a head start just because they look different or come from a certain background. That wouldn't be fair, right? Eliminating discrimination means making sure everyone starts from the same point and gets an equal chance to succeed, no matter where they come from or what they look like. There are different forms of discrimination. We've got direct discrimination, where people are told that you can't play because you are a certain type. So, for example, you can't come into this restaurant because you're black or you're Asian or you've got blonde hair. Next, we've got indirect discrimination. This one's a bit tricky. It happens when there are rules and policies or practices that might seem unfair to a few people but seem fair for everyone else. So they treat some people unfairly because of who they are and what they believe in. It's like a hidden or sneaky type of discrimination. So imagine if you have a group of friends who want to play a fun game together. They decide to play basketball, but they make a rule that everyone has to be at least 6 feet tall to play. Now, some of your friends are tall enough and that rule doesn't bother them, but there are a few friends who are shorter and they can't play just because of their height. This indirect discrimination, because the rule makes it harder for the shorter friends to join a game. In real life, indirect discrimination can happen in different situations. For example, let's say there's a school that decides to have a special event on a Saturday. That might be fine for most students, but there could be some students who can't attend because of their religion. They might celebrate a different day, like a Friday or Sunday. So the school's choice of a day directly discriminates against those students who can't come on a Saturday because of their beliefs. The important thing to remember is that indirect discrimination might not be obvious at first, but it still has a negative impact on certain people. And we need to be aware of these situations and make sure that our rules and decisions are fair for everyone, no matter who they are or what they believe in. Treating everyone with kindness and understanding is the key to avoiding indirect discrimination and making sure everyone feels included and respected. And lastly, we've got associative discrimination. That is where you're discriminated against because you associate with someone from a protected group. You may not be in that group yourself, but just by association, you then get discriminated against. Protected characteristics are certain traits or qualities that are legally protected, meaning that it's against the law to treat someone unfairly or differently because of these characteristics. These traits are special because they define who we are and make us unique. In the UK, there are different protected characteristics, and they include things like age, disability, gender reassignment, race and ethnicity, sex and gender orientation. Think of protective characteristics like a special shield that protects people from unfair treatment. So it's important to understand and respect these characteristics and treat everyone with kindness and equality, no matter their differences. So now let's continue to look at protective characteristics, and we'll start with age. Age discrimination prevents unfair treatment based on someone's age, whether they are young or older. For example, historically, older workers might have faced age-based discrimination in employment, leading to fewer job opportunities or lower wages compared to their younger counterparts. One real-world example of age discrimination can be observed in the context of employment. So let's look at a statistical example from the labour market. So age discrimination and hiring practices. According to a study conducted by the United States Equal Employment Opportunities Commission, age discrimination continues to be a concern in the American workforce. The EEOC enforces laws against employment discrimination, including the Age Discrimination in Employment Act. In this study, researchers sent out fictitious resumes to various employers, varying the ages of the applicants while keeping their qualifications and experience consistent. The goal was to observe how employers responded to different age groups during the hiring process. What were the results? Well, applicants aged 29 to 31 received the highest callback for the interviews, around 19 to 20%. Callback rate decreased steadily, increasing with age groups. For applicants aged 49 to 51, the callback rate was 14%, whereas for applicants aged 64 to 66, it was significantly lower at just 6.7%. So there we see why it's a protected characteristic. So now let's look at disability. So disability discrimination ensures that individuals with physical or mental disabilities are not treated unfairly. In the past, people with disabilities were often marginalised and excluded from public spaces and denied access to essential services and facilities. But in 1995, we had the Disability Discrimination Act, which ensures that individuals with disabilities are not discriminated against and have equal access to facilities and services. So again, let's use an example in employment. According to a study conducted by the UK government, Equality and Human Rights Commission, EHRC, disability discrimination remains a significant issue in the workplace, and the EHRC enforces the Equality Act 2010 to protect individuals from discrimination based on disability. What do statistics say? Well, there's an employment gap. The disability employment gap refers to the difference in employment rates between disabled and non-disabled individuals. According to UK government's official Office for National Statistics in 2020, the employment rate for non-disabled people was around 81%, whereas the employment rate for disabled people was much lower, approximately 53%. Then we've got the pay gap. Disabled people and employees also experience a pay gap compared to their non-disabled counterparts. According to the Office of National Statistics, in 2020, the median hourly salary for non-disabled workers was higher at £13.37, whereas for disabled workers it was £10.63. Now we'll look at employment opportunities. Disabled job seekers often face barriers in accessing employment opportunities. A survey conducted by disability charity Scope in 2018 revealed that 53% of disabled job seekers felt they were being treated unfairly during the recruitment process due to their disability, and 58% of disabled job seekers felt they had been turned down for a job because of their disability. So what does this mean? Well, the statistics above indicate that disabled individuals in the UK experience disadvantages in the labour market, facing challenges in securing employment and achieving equitable pay. This suggests that disability discrimination in employment remains a concern. And how does this impact us? Well, disability discrimination in the workplace can lead to exclusion, limited career prospects, and financial inequality for disabled individuals. This lack of inclusivity not only impacts the lives of disabled workers, but also affects the overall diversity and productivity of the workforce. So how can we address this? Well, The government and various organisations are working to address disability discrimination in employment. Initiatives to raise awareness, promote equal opportunities and encourage employers to create inclusive workplaces that accommodate the needs of disabled employees are in place. The statistics highlight the importance of ongoing efforts to combat disability discrimination and create an inclusive work environment where disabled individuals can thrive and contribute to society on an equal footing with their non-disabled peers. Gender reassignment discrimination refers to the unfair treatment or prejudice against individuals who are undergoing or who have undergone gender reassignment, transitioning from one gender to another. The Equality Act 2010 in the UK protects individuals from discrimination based on gender reassignment. So we can find this in many places, for example, workplace discrimination. According to a study by the UK government's Equality and Human Rights Act Commission in 2018, they found that around 1 in 3 transgender individuals reported experiencing discrimination at work due to their gender reassignment. In healthcare, the EHRC study in 2018 also found that approximately 1 in 5 transgender people reported experiencing discrimination in healthcare services. According to data from the UK Home Office hate crime statistics in 2019 to 2020, found 2,540 recorded hate crimes based on transgender identity. Gender reassignment discrimination can have severe consequences on the mental and physical well-being of transgender individuals. It can lead to exclusion, harassment, and barriers in accessing essential services, employment, and education. The efforts to address this issue. Various organisations and advocacy groups in the UK are working to raise awareness about gender reassignment discrimination and promote inclusivity and equality for transgender individuals. Legal protections under the Equality Act aim to safeguard the rights of transgender people and create a more inclusive society. So now we'll move on to look at marriage and civil partnerships. This protects individuals from discrimination based on their marital status or civil partnership. Historically, women might have faced workplace discrimination or limited access to certain benefits. The Equality Act 2010 in the UK protects individuals from discrimination based on these factors. So let's look at workplace discrimination. So according to the UK government's Equality and Human Rights Commission research in 2018, 3 in 10 people believe they experienced discrimination at work due to their marital or civil partnership status. The same report from the EHRC report found that around 1 in 5 people reported experiencing discrimination in housing due to their marital or civil partnership status. And public service discrimination is also quite relevant. The EHRC report in 2018 also revealed that approximately 1 in 7 people felt they had experienced discrimination in accessing public services based on their marital or civil partnership status. So what impact does this have? Well, marriage and civil partnership discrimination can lead to exclusion, limited access to housing, employment and public services, and can negatively affect the well-being of those facing such discrimination. And what we're doing to address this? Well, the Equality Act 2010 in the UK prohibits discrimination based on marital or civil partnership status and aims to promote equal treatment and opportunities for all individuals, regardless of their relationship status. Various organisations and government bodies work to raise awareness about discrimination, provide legal protections, and promote inclusivity in society. Pregnancy and maternity discrimination refer to the unfair treatment or prejudice against individuals due to their pregnancy or maternity status. The Equality Act 2010 in the UK provides protection against discrimination based on these factors. So let's have a look at workplace discrimination. According to research report by the UK Government's Equality and Human Rights Commission, EHRC, in 2018, around 9% of women reported being dismissed or made redundant during pregnancy, maternity leave, or upon their return to work. Approximately 10% of women said they were treated poorly or experienced unfavourable treatment by their employer because of their pregnancy. And also they found a reduced access to opportunities. The same report in 2018 revealed that approximately 41% of employers agreed it is reasonable to ask a female candidate about their plans for having children during the recruitment process. And around 36% of employers agreed that women should disclose if they are pregnant during the recruitment process. So what impact does this have? Well, pregnancy and maternity discrimination can have severe consequences on a woman's career and financial security. It can lead to job loss, reduced opportunities for advancement, and create barriers for women returning to work after maternity leave. So we're trying to address this by legal protections under the Equality Act 2010. And in the UK, we aim to safeguard the rights of pregnant employees and those on maternity leave. Various organisations and advocacy groups work to raise awareness about pregnancy and maternity discrimination and promote equality in the workplace. So next, let's look at race and ethnicity. Race and ethnicity protects individuals from discrimination based on their race, ethnicity, nationality, or national origin. Historically, racial and ethnic minorities have endured systematic discrimination, segregation, and unequal treatment in various aspects of life, including education, housing, and employment. The Race Relations Act 1976 makes it unlawful to discriminate against someone based on their race, colour, nationality, ethnic, or national origin. For example, in the UK, as of 2019, ethnic minorities face a significant pay gap compared to their white counterparts. On average, people from ethnic minority backgrounds earn less than white employees. Around 23% of employees from ethnic minority backgrounds reported experiencing racial harassment at work in the previous year, and also educational discrimination. The same EHRC report in 2019 revealed that students from some ethnic minority groups are less likely to achieve high grades at GCSE and A-levels compared to white British students. Housing discrimination is another area. According to the EHRC report in 2019, ethnic minorities are more likely to face barriers in accessing housing compared to white British individuals. So the race and ethnicity discrimination can lead to exclusion, limited access to education and housing, employment disparities, and unequal treatment in various aspects of life. Such discrimination can negatively affect the mental and physical well-being of those facing it. So what are we doing to address this issue? Legal protections under the Equality Act 2010 in the UK aim to safeguard the rights of individuals from racial and ethnic minority backgrounds. And then there are organisations, governmental bodies and advocacy groups who work to raise awareness about race and ethnicity discrimination and promote inclusivity in society. Religion and or belief discrimination refers to the unfair treatment or prejudice against individuals based on their religious beliefs or non-beliefs. The Equality Act 2010 in the UK protects individuals from discrimination based on these factors. So we'll start again with the workplace discrimination. According to a research report by the UK Government, EHRC report in 2018, around 21% of people from religious or belief groups reported experiencing discrimination at work in the previous year. The same EHRC report in 2018 revealed that around 16% of people from religious or belief groups reported experiencing discrimination in housing. And in education, it was found that students from certain religious or belief groups may face challenges related to bullying or discrimination in schools. What impact does this have? Well, religion or belief discrimination can lead to exclusion, limited access to housing, education, and employment opportunities, and can negatively affect the well-being of those that face such discrimination. So we're working to address this issue by legal protections under the Equality Act 2010. We aim to safeguard the rights of individuals from different religious groups or backgrounds, and various organisations, governmental bodies and advocacy groups work to raise awareness about this issue. Now we'll have a look at the sex. So this protects individuals from discrimination based on their sex or gender. Historically, again, women have faced gender-based discrimination in numerous areas, including education, employment and representation in leadership roles. The Sex Discrimination Act in 1975 prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex or marital status. Let's have a look again at workplace discrimination. So according to a research report by the EHRC in 2019, women continue to face gender pay gap, with women's median hourly earnings being lower than men's hourly earnings. And approximately 40% of employers in the UK reported a gender pay gap, with women earning less than men in their organisations. The same EHRC report in 2019 revealed that women are underrepresented in senior leadership roles across various sectors. And according again to the same report in 2018, around 9% of women reported being dismissed or made redundant during pregnancy, maternity leave, or upon their return to work. 10% of women said they were treated poorly or experienced unfavourable treatment by their employer because of their pregnancy. So sex discrimination can lead to barriers in career advancement, unequal pay and limited access to opportunities for individuals based on their sex or gender. And the consequences that this can have are economic and social well-being of those facing it. We try to address these issues by the legal protections under the Equality Act. We want to safeguard the rights of these individuals. Lastly, you've got sexual orientation, and this protects individuals from discrimination based on their sexual orientation. Historically, LGBTQ+ individuals have faced stigmatisation, violence and discrimination, resulting in social marginalisation and limited rights. According to research report by the EHRC in 2018, 18% of LGBTQ+ employees reported experiencing discrimination or harassment at work in the previous year due to their sexual orientation. The same report in 2018 revealed that around 16% of LGBTQ+ students reported experiencing discrimination or harassment in educational settings. And according to the Home Office, hate crime statistics in the UK from 2019 to 2020 reported that 15,816 recorded hate crimes based on sexual orientation. So, sexual orientation discrimination can lead to exclusion, harassment and barriers in accessing education, employment and public services for individuals based on their sexual orientation. Such discrimination can have severe consequences on mental and physical well-being of those facing it. And again, we've got the Equality Act 2010 that protects people from this discrimination. To ensure equality, there are specific laws and acts in place that organisations must comply with. Some of the key legislation include the Equality Act. This comprehensive law protects individuals from discrimination based on their age, disability, gender, reassignment, race, religion, belief, educational, sexual orientation, marriage and civil partnership. We've also got the Sex Discrimination Act, which protects people based on their marital or sexual status. Race Relations Act, which we spoke about on the previous slide. And then we've got Disability Discrimination Act, and this ensures that individuals with disabilities are not discriminated against. So here are the key elements of the policy. Equal opportunities. So what we want to do is make sure that organisations provide equal opportunities for education, training and career advancement, irrespective of an individual's background. Next, we want to look at accessible facilities. So health facilities are designed to accommodate individuals with disabilities, ensuring that they have equal access to services too. And we want to encourage a diverse workforce, which ensures a variety of perspectives and ideas are considered, enriching the quality of care provided. because each person from each background brings something new and different to the table, and that can help us with best practice. So now let's talk about how we eliminate discrimination. So firstly, we need to look at training and awareness. So staff members must undergo training to recognise and challenge how discriminatory behaviour and attitudes can affect those around them. We need a robust complaints procedure. So organisations must have a clear procedure in place for reporting discrimination or harassment, ensuring they are properly addressed, and to give employees and service users the confidence to know that they're going to be taken seriously. And lastly, we've got support networks. So what we need to do is establish support networks that help individuals who've experienced discrimination to seek assistance and guidance, and so that then we can change policies and our procedures to make sure it doesn't happen again. We're now coming to the end of the presentation, and the main thing we need to understand is that we need to make sure that we have equality in the health and science sector. We need to make sure we've got diversity so that we can bring in different knowledges and different practices so that we can create best practice, and also so that we can ensure social justice and improve quality within our workforce. And by doing that, we can make sure that we can provide the best patient-centred care, because diversity for the employees means that we were able to meet the diverse needs of our patients too. In conclusion, the equality, diversity and inclusion policy is crucial in creating an inclusive and fair health and science sector. Compliance with legislation such as the Equality Act, the Race Relations Act and the Disability Discrimination Act ensures that everyone's treated with respect and dignity. By providing equal opportunities and eliminating discrimination, we can collectively build a more equitable society. Thank you for joining today's class, and remember, embracing diversity and promoting equality is not just a legal obligation, but a moral responsibility. So let's continue learning and working together to create a more inclusive future. See you next time.